What's up guys, Vitas here. I'm going to be showing y'all how to make some really dark samples for producers like Southside and Pyrex Whippa. So let's get started. This is how it sounds like. So I started out with this piano from Contact. It's called the Nor piano. And I used a dark preset. I clicked on this drop down right here and I went to grand piano and I went to dark. And I came up with this chord right here. And then I came up with this other chord over here. And then I started coming up with the notes in the middle. And I played around with the velocities as well to make it sound more realistic. And for the BPM, I left it at 121 because these loops, they work best in a range of like 110 to like 130. You could even go lower than that though. I'd say you can go up to like 90 even. And for the effects, I put some virtual tape machines on there. I played around with the settings a little bit. I put the output on max, I put this on low, and I left the speed on 30 IPS. And for the RC20, I put the wobble on 4%. Let me see, I can put it back. Yeah, and then the distortion, I left it on 4%. The digital, I left it on 2. Space is on 4%. And magnetic is on 2%. For the cut, I put it at 149 Hertz. I cut out some of the lows. And for the reverb, I left the mix at 13.6%. I put the high on 3000 Hertz. This is basically like cutting out the highs on a reverb. So for the EQ, I cut out some more of the lows. And for the halftime, I left the mix on 40%, so that way I could get some of the original mix and some of the halftime in there as well, which is really what gives the whole piano its dark feel, because without it, it's really dry. Is how it sounds like without it. And then with the halftime. And then after that, I added some cassette, which is basically just another RC20. I put the erasures all the way on max, which is just like loudness. For the spread, I left it on 100. For stability, I left it on 86%. For the static, I turned it off. I don't really like that. And the dynamic, I left it on 0. And for the artifacts, I left it on 23%. And then after that, I played around with this a little bit. I cut out some of the lows using this thing right here. And for the second sound, I used some strings for the bass line. I used a Metropolis Art 2 bank from Contact, and I went in here. I clicked on orchestra. I went to the Rocker strings low, and I clicked on the first preset. And I didn't add effects to this one, I think. Yeah, I just lowered down the volume a little bit because it was kind of loud. And then from here, I went on to the third sound, which was a flute. For this one, I didn't really mess around with it too much. Yeah, I left it completely dry. I didn't put any effects, no nothing. And then for the fourth sound, I added some arcade in here. I went into the Dissonant Voices patch and I selected the Tales of the Oracle. the Tales of the Oracle preset. And I selected the notes that best sounded together, and this is what it sounded like. So for this one, I did put some effects on it. I went to the Vintage Valhalla verb and I left the mix on 32%, and that's all I pretty much did. and I also lowered it a little bit too because it was kind of loud. And for the last sound, I used an atmospheric sound from a unique bank that I can't tell you guys because it's kind of a secret. So if you guys want to sound like this, you could go to YouTube and search up a bank that has a bunch of atmospheric sounds, and you'll probably find one out there. It's a bunch of them out there on YouTube that you could find. And I selected the two notes from the bass notes of the piano. So I used E and I used F sharp. And I came up with this. And after all of that, I spread them out like this, and I consolidated each one, as you can see up here. And I put them onto a fruity slicer, and after that, on the master I put some effects. I put the virtual tape machines, and I left it on max as always. I put the speed on 30 IPS, this thing on low, and that's how I got the final sample. So yeah guys, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to stay tuned for that loop kit I'm going to be dropping with Arctic Beats on this channel. It's going to have like 24 PF loops, and I'm also going to be dropping a loop kit on my channel. It's going to have like 20 dark samples, and yeah, that's pretty much it guys. See you guys in the next video.